Don't worry, you have like a 10-year-old apple. It's apparently that's all you need because apples are super great. You're always bragging about it, so you'll make it happen for the fans.
For the fans, I'll do something for all of our subscribers. Hello and welcome to another damn anime podcast. My name is Nick and I will be your host. Here with me tonight is my good buddy Joe. Joe, how you doing?
Doing all right. Things are starting to clear up a little bit outside. Outside the Chicago area, we got a lot of that Canadian smoke coming down, and so slowly today it went from very poor air quality to finally just poor air quality. So things are
Reg-
looking up, especially for this Fourth of July weekend. Hopefully we gets a little bit of rain and no one starts a firework and causes more fire because that's the last thing we need.
More smoke, yes. Just more smoke is what you want. Regular old poor air quality, like normal. Okay, well that's better than nothing, I guess. That's cool, man. Well, I hope it does clear up for you guys. It's just kind of sad the whole northern part of the United States being covered in Canada's smoke. Uh,
It's been pretty gnarly to see the moon though at night because it's like, wow, that's not a natural color at all.
hmm,
But it's pretty picturesque. So
I didn't know that. Makes sense though. Yeah. So we're here to talk about anime and anime that we've watched. Um, yeah, I've not been able to keep up with a lot of anime recently. There's been a lot of games coming out, so it's kind of either or on that for me. Um, but I will go ahead and talk about what I have watched in these past couple weeks, and that is catching up on Hell's Paradise. I had left off on like episode 5 or so there, and I went ahead and crammed, binged the rest of what's out, all of the dubbing, and then a little bit of the subbed. So I am through episode 12 of Hell's Paradise. I think there's one more left to go before the season ends. But yeah, it's pretty good. I know you've been able to watch a pretty good amount of it too, but you're sticking with the dub. But yeah, I'm enjoying it pretty well. I I'm curious. What do you think about it?
they did a lot of things different, which caught my attention. And yeah, yeah, it's been pretty all right. I've enjoyed it the entirety of it so far. I'm only up to episode 10 dubbed, and yeah, so far so good. I'm kind of curious how they're going to end it because I don't know. I feel that they're lacking in something. I mean, it might. I'm afraid it's going to be a little rushed, but for me, I at least have 3 episodes left, so plenty of time to work it out. Uh, but at the same time, kind of still looming in that like, will they draw it out for another season territory?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
and that's kind of like I don't want that. I would actually really just prefer it if they just ended it. But like, it's still like with all the that they have left, they're gonna make it into a second season, which of course is more profitable. Hoping that they actually get a second season.
yeah. It is. There's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a second season. As far as or at least they're not going to finish it all out in this season. There's definitely a lot of stuff left to figure out. Maybe further on than that, even. Um, I could definitely see them stretching out for even more if they really wanted to. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's getting a little bit repetitive to me. Some of these last couple episodes seem pretty similar to what they had been doing. But it's pretty well done overall. For Mappa, I think it's a little bit weaker of their properties that they work on, but that's they can't all be 100% crazy awesome winners. So I'm still enjoying it. There's a bunch of other stuff that I have kind of left on the wayside that I think you'll mention here. but maybe I'll be able to catch up a little bit more next time. There's a couple shows that I do want to try to finish out before the new season really gets started in earnest. I think there's some new shows have started to come out already, but it might not be till next week. But anyway, so that's kind of the long and short of my situation. What other stuff have you been watching, Joe?
Yeah, so speaking about things that you haven't been keeping up with, you haven't been keeping up with Oshinoko, and that is like a grave error on
Jeez,
your
dude,
part.
I'm 2 freaking episodes behind.
And
I
it's
mean,
done.
and
The
it's
season is
done.
finished. So yeah,
Yeah.
let me
Okay.
spoil it for you now, since you don't care.
Well, I'll just.
No, I'm not going to do that. But the it's they've already confirmed, obviously, season two, and the way they handle these last couple episodes is great. They had a couple key scenes in this final episode that were phenomenal. Like yeah, one was pretty much laugh out loud territory, and they're really leading up to the next season to be very interesting. Not overly like the problem with a story like this is you're afraid it goes too drama heavy. It's just like they're like to milk things out or to take things to the way this is done is like a good mixture of drama and comedy together. Trying to not make it too brooding or anything like that. And yeah, I think they've left them wide open for this next season to be great. They can of course royally screw it too, but I think it's going to be a solid. At least it's a solid opening for a second season. I'm very interested, and yeah, totally committed. Uh,
Yeah,
so
there's.
a lot of things had finished though. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, Oshinoko. I mean, to me at least, it's the surprise hit of the season. But there's like no way that they wouldn't do a second season. Um, so I'm excited for it, even though I haven't finished the current season. I am excited for the next one. And
Yeah, you made a big scoff about missing 2 episodes. I'm like, yeah, it was only 2 episodes. So
I
what's
know,
your excuse?
I know. I'm just busy playing actual video games, unlike other people on this podcast.
You only said you've been playing Diablo. So I mean,
Yeah, video
apparently with all that
games.
grinding, you couldn't afford to have a second screen up. Uh,
Yeah, I probably should have watched a lot of Hell's Paradise with the in the background while I was grinding Diablo. But that's lessons learned. But yeah, it's going to be good. Oshinoko season 2 is going to be good. I kind of wonder, what they're going to do with that second season opener. If they are just going to start with a standard, 30-minute episode. I don't really know if there's anything in the storyline that would merit another, hour and a half movie length, type of episode to start. But who knows? I'm excited to see. Sure, it's going to be pretty good next season. But yeah. So besides that, what else have you been watching?
all right. Finished up on Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Season 4, part 2. It was this entire uh actually season 4 as a whole has been way more action oriented than it has ever been, and especially this part 2 has just kind of been a long sequence of events. It's they do a good job balancing drawing it out too long, because when you're stuck in sports anime do this, like baseball ones do it terribly, where they will one game will take like 5 episodes or something like that, and they just draw it out forever.
Mm,
And they run that risk here with the sequence of events, like drawing a particular incident too long. But they do break it up enough with following other people's stories or following doing flashbacks and some other things, so it's not as overbearing as it could be. And it's just overall it's a decent character development, and I liked it. So the entire series is I think it's gone from like lighthearted comedy to more serious action, I guess, slowly over time. And I like the series as a whole, and there's like a bunch of if you want to get into a big series. It's one to most definitely try looking at. Uh, I just saw before the show was talking to you about uh, a different anime here. The why Leirana ended up in the Duke's mansion. That is, I didn't realize I finished the season, and I was just like, ah, crap, because it's completely wide open. It's not. They're like mid issue, and it's just like, ah, geez, man, they could easily not get us. The second season hasn't been confirmed, and if it doesn't, it's going to be super annoying. I like this one. It was a good take on a isekai kind of formula, being slightly in a book format, like different, but not necessarily a partially historical setting. And yeah, it was entertaining. So I did like season one. Hopefully they get a season two, and if not, I will just be annoyed. So yeah, let's see here. Another one that ended was the I got a cheat skill in another world because it became unrivaled in the real world too. So another isekai story. This one had, like I said, excellent animation, and about halfway through the anime, it passed the manga. And so I had followed the manga for a really long time, and so now it's just like, all right, they took their own liberties, uh, and it kind of went from. I guess the ending wasn't as fulfilling as the beginning I would have hoped. They they leave a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm kind of curious to see where it goes. Especially since I can't just read the manga and catch up and find the
Yeah.
answers for myself now. I mean, if I really wanted to, there's probably a light novel out there, but that's not happening. So
So is there a
uh,
plan to be a second season, or is it just no announcement yet?
unannounced yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it got a second season, but at the same time, I'm not sure what the actual numbers are of it.
I
Like I
think it
said,
was
the
fairly popular. I mean, it definitely wasn't like the bottom of the anime this season. I think a lot of people were watching it, and you're right. You know, the animation was good. Storyline not too bad. I did get to about episode 5 or 7, somewhere in there, on this one. It just wasn't my priority, but I did like it. Okay, it was pretty good.
I mean, I enjoyed watching it to the end, but at the same time, it just became different. I guess is the like there was the level of progression and character development kind of changes in a way. So it's not the way it ends isn't kind of the way it began, which can be said about most stories in general. But I guess I was hoping for a steady kind of story arc, and I feel like it kind of like maybe it's because it might follow the old anime trope of we passed the manga, now we ran out of material, and now we're kind of like, we have some loose ideas. Maybe it's hard to say. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes on this one in particular, uh, but I hope that they. I would like to see a second season. That's honestly how I look at it. It was a fun enough ride for me to be like, all right, let's watch the second one. Another one that just ended was My Clueless First Friend.
Mm.
This was a cute little comedy of a story, and if you wanted something to, it's kind of like that eyeball bleach, if you wanted to kind of relax and have a good laugh, watch something like a cutesy kind of. I would totally recommend this one. It was an enjoyable thing, and it was the entire. It doesn't need any more. It's just this is it. I mean, they can easily make it continue on because it's just a slice of life, story. So yeah, if they make more, great. If not, I'm content with that. That's fine. I don't need to have any more. But I really enjoyed what I watched. And
Yeah, I like
the
that one a little
last
bit
one
too.
that the last one that ended, I'm gonna say is that I've that I liked watching was My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. So very much a shoujo style manga or anime, and No, it is a cute love story. Uh, Also, simple but very still entertaining, heartwarming in a lot of ways, and just uh, yeah, it was just something different. It's if not a whole lot of drama, not a whole lot of negativity or anything like that. So it's one of those things I like. Yeah, sometimes you want to not have all the you don't need to be watching something high anxiety, high action or anything like that. No, just take it chill and enjoy your time. So there's a few things that are about to end, or maybe they've already ended in the Japanese, subbed, but I haven't gotten around to them because I'm watching a lot of these dubbed.
Hmm.
So, but
Yeah,
Yamada-kun and My Clueless First Friend, I did those subbed, and because they were easy enough in Japanese to follow along, and it was I liked them enough to keep up with those. So for sure.
yeah. Yamada-kun is kind of one I forgot about, but I remember that first episode being pretty funny, and it's one of the ones that I kind of wish I'd made more of a point to go and watch. But so I might try to watch that one dubbed now, just kind of binge it pretty quickly because it seems like it'd be a nice, light, easy to follow, sort of comedy. But um, yeah, man. I mean, I guess we're kind of close enough to the new season. Um, do you know? Do you have a bunch of ones picked out for the new season that you are have your eye on?
No, like I mentioned before, when it comes to the new seasons, I actually
Um,
don't look in advance. I let them drop and let them surprise me. I don't really scour the news forums or anything like that too much. Now, if there's a like if there's a season of something that I'm like half expecting or I've been following, for example, I think they finally announced Konosuba for next year. They finally showed a poster of it,
right.
and I think they announced something else too recently that was supposed to be finally coming out, but I'm drawing a blank right now. So there's very few things that have started releasing. They did episode 2 of 6 for like an ONA for Tenchi Muyo, and I'm like, I really like Tenchi, but that's a nostalgia factor. As far as the actual story goes, I think it's kind of convoluted now because they've they've kind of muddied the water with their own property and kind of making it all over the place and making it so far and few between. So it's like being solely funded, I feel like, just out of that pure nostalgic fan base. They're like, yeah, so you have to know the right book, like, or the right manga that they're doing it off of. Because they it was one of those early ones. They're like, we're gonna make the OVA, original like video animation, and then they made a TVA, and I think the TVA was really entertaining. But then they made the other like they made a couple movies that weren't like related per se. Then they came out with another third series that was completely different. And so it's just like Tenchi in Tokyo. And then the rest of the stuff was like, okay, we're going based off the OVA again. It's like it got really, it's just, it was fun to watch, and they kept on retelling the same story with the same people, but like different backgrounds or switching them up a little bit. Um, but after a while, they've released a few other things, and it kind of slipped by the wayside. Though they had like the War on Gemini, which was not even Tenchi himself, but like a cousin or something who gets isekai'd like into outer space, and that one was actually pretty good. I actually really like that one. Um, but yeah, it's just like it's just one of those. Um, it's kind of hard to recommend to people. I'm like, I would recommend the original like OVA or TVA just because they're entertaining, um, and as a historical reference, but nothing. I can't really, in good conscience, just recommend you starting off from like here because I'm like, chances are you're missing so much content. Is my guess. In fact, I've avoided watching some of the most recent stuff just because I'm like, ah, man, I'm probably have to gonna do some research to get into this, and I'm like, I don't want to do my homework before I watch this. So
Yeah, it
I
always
mean,
sucks having to do homework before you get into something. It's like, and sometimes you just gotta let that train go.
yeah, where's the cliff notes when you need it, right?
Yeah, for real.
Just to quickly abridge, here's what you're missing. Uh,
I'm sure there's
now,
something like
as
that around on the internet, but yeah, who wants to do that work anyway?
no, you just need a friend who hopefully knows everything about it that can just put you on the path or fill you in on what you don't need to know.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
you, but you don't have anybody because you're
yeah,
you.
it's kind of, or I have to go into the forums of the people that I don't want to talk to. Like, it's one of those things like, um, how did Genshiken put it? Like, otakus are a bunch of people who are just trying to outdo each other, or like one up each other, and it's just like, did you know this, or did you like, yeah, when this originally came out, it's just a bunch of people trying to humble brag about how much they know about it better than you, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of accurate, and that came out, oh, goodness, like early 2000s, and I'm like, that quote or that reference still like holds true. Anytime nerds are together, they always want to prove that they know an episode or they know the series better than someone else, and they know like the story behind the director or the episode, or something. And it's just like, yeah, nerds are terrible people sometimes.
Nerds are horrible. Yeah.
I'm very much one of them, and I very much have to check myself when I'm like, nope, they don't like Nick does not need to know all this extra shit. Like he just needs to know, like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there is definitely some of that goes on, but a lot of your stories are good. A lot of your context is very very much wanted, I will say. Well, it's going to be kind of a short episode this week because I'll blame myself. Haven't watched enough
Well, the
anime.
good news is we're gonna be able to start up or finish up our
Oh,
separate near cast finally.
oh yeah, praises to the anime gods. Um, so near the anime, as you all probably know, um, kind of disappeared after episode 9, uh, due to COVID. They said, whether that's true, I'm a little bit dubious on, but that doesn't matter, because they are coming back, um, and they're gonna. I think I have this right. I don't have the article pulled up right in
Yeah,
front of me.
it's you were talking about it beforehand, and I just looked it up. According to what like the comments and stuff is, episodes 9 through 12 to be dropped on July 23rd.
Yeah, 9 through
Uh,
12. Yeah,
so
okay.
so 4 episodes, one go. Uh, it's like a movie, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
that was probably the only way they could get it to like to get it out because it's like not a real season. It's in the middle of another season. It's like, well, we can negotiate to just figure out this one time to spend all of this, all these episodes in one go. But
yeah. Get the airways you need it. Like, all right, well, it's in between the seasons, and let's go one time, one and done, and then they can pump out the DVDs and make money off of it finally.
yeah, so I'll be going on vacation actually around that time, and that's a lot of episodes. We might actually have to push that back to the middle of August because I don't think we want to. I don't want to break it up episode by episode. I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna be able to get it done. It'll be fine.
All right, so I'm gonna hold you to it that you're gonna do a remote cast. You can do it from your phone, guerrilla style. You have a wicked camera, so you could just you can vlog it. Yeah, this you can make it work. You have the technology.
I can do
I
that
believe in
part,
you.
but I can't edit the podcast on the road because I don't have a freaking supercomputer laptop that can do that.
Don't worry, you have like a 10-year-old Apple. It's apparently that's all you need because apples are super great. You're always bragging about it, so you'll make it happen for the fans.
for the fans, I'll do something for all of our subscribers. Wouldn't
All
want to let
right.
them down. Okay.
All right. I've filled out as much time as I possibly could this episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've definitely stretched, just stretched out. It's fine. It's cool. There'll be other episodes where we try harder. I think maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching. And happy America's birthday if you're in America, and it's coming up right up. And if you're not in America, then why not? And we'll see you next time.
Take it easy, guys.